almost always, parents end up in a therapy center which used to tell them that they are doing ABA, which is the most scientific way to help autism. What you need to check is, are they updated about ABA? Because ABA has revised the way it has to be done several times, and the latest is called NDBI, which is there in our app. Please go in and ask them if they are following NDBI as the modality in ABA. Very often it's not going to be the case. You're going to be faced with outdated information. What you can do is try to take out the information and give it to them and tell them, this is how I want my child to be helped in a natural manner, with relationship as priority and some behavior methods to be included. The natural method should not be forgotten. We are not going to condition this child. We are not going to teach him skills. We are going to promote internal motivation and support him in his 3 difficulties: social, communication, repetitive behaviors. We are going to help him in these 3 things defined in DSM, which are actually his difficulties and the way it presents, and then help him by bringing him back to the path and guiding him with the social inputs, communication inputs, and handling of repetitive behaviors. If you try to do only academics, or you try to do only sensory, or you try to do only occupational therapy, only physiotherapy, you are only attempting to handle the symptom. How long will you handle the symptom? Because the symptoms will keep presenting itself, because this autism is for life. So when you do these things, you have to introduce his and improve his understanding of social, his understanding of communication, his understanding of how repetitive nature is affecting him. The awareness in social, the awareness in communication, and the awareness in repetitive nature that he's going through is what you should be addressing. If you run behind a school for admission before this child is ready, you're going to be miserable again and again. Work with your child, bring him in a learning path. That should be your priority, and you only can do it. You have to empower yourself. Moving on. You can look at the free video on freedoms, get an idea of what needs to be done, and for further resources you can approach us. What you need to prioritize again and again is the emotional development of the child, not the cognitive development. So what is the big difference, right? Yes, good question. So when we came up with that video, which was widely circulated, I realized I had to explain what it was. Take for example, you keep a picture of puzzle picture, 4-piece puzzle, triangle, square, and you want the child to imitate the same shape, the 4 pieces. So you put a triangle over the square, he puts a triangle over the square, and you're just making a copy of the same puzzle. If you're showing the picture and telling him, put it on top, this goes on top, that goes on top, and he does it, very often you're working to push him to figure out the piece shape correctly, to keep it like you tell him correctly, and you are not trusting that this child can look at the picture, figure out what it is, look at your communication, have a good time when you're doing it, like you would do for other children. It is usually a restlessness in the therapist and the parent to somehow ensure this child does the shape and size correctly. So that is your cognitive approach to the puzzle. The emotional approach to the same puzzle would be, I am doing it with you. I keep a piece, I look at that, and I smile. And he wonders what he needs to do, and then take it, let's try. And then he would take and he may hesitate, and you're like, here? Maybe? No? Okay, here. Let's try. And it puts it there. So there is up and down communication, and that is relationship. That's emotional development. He's understanding me, the theory of mind. What is this person trying to say? What is her intent? Is she happy with me? When you go the cognitive approach, you are judging him. And let me tell you, autistic children know very well about the people who are engaging with them. If you see, they will just move like a magnet towards certain individuals, and they'll repel certain individuals. In one of the sessions that I was attending, I was informed that energy level sensors, they really sense energy levels. And I feel that was an excellent way to put it. From their philosophy, it was like they know who accepts them wholeheartedly and who is judging them, and who is accepting and judging them. Very often in a therapy center, it is impossible for a therapist to not judge, because she's going to be judged based on how she's engaging with the child. So there is a little bit of a restlessness, and we do train therapists to avoid restlessness and try to emotionally connect with the child. It takes time, and that's why we say it's best the parents engage, so that it's for life. And that is the relationship based on which all children have been learning, and our child also can learn. So emotional development, emotional connection, that is the communication that they are missing, social communication that they are lagging. When they say social communication lag, the communication is not just speech. That is the biggest misnomer I'm seeing around. Speech will come when this child understands emotions, understands non-verbal communication, and is internally motivated on his own to speak like all other children. Only then the speech will grow and will become to and fro. It will become they will start the conversations on their own. They will make speeches. If you want that communication to grow, you cannot make it static by telling him, say this is a apple, say apple. Okay, this is house, say house. You can teach him 1,000 words. How is it going to become sentence? How is it going to become paragraphs? How is it going to become essays? There has to be internal motivation to speak, isn't it? So let's develop that motivation. It's possible in autism. Okay, so that will be my big message, I think.